We're going to go back on the record. We've got an unscheduled matter where someone's here as a walk-in, trying to line up all the players. Turn the record on. This is a walk-in case from a probation violation hearing that was set in the matter of Brandy Marie Brown. Miss Brown was filed in file 222311 ST with producing false evidence of insurance and operating a vehicle without insurance. That allegedly occurred in the city of Sturgis. She pled to no insurance and was on a non-reporting probation for 2 months. Her payment was $475, which was the minimum fine, court costs and attorney fees. She also owes money in a number of cases, and that was in June. It was part of her payment plan, which was an all-encompassing plan. First payment was due by June 15th. She never paid anything. And Daniel, her probation officer, had a probation violation hearing that we extend the probation because she had never done anything. And we extended the probation. So anyway, we had the hearing, which was set for the 13th of September. And Rhonda Ives was here to represent her. And we had a hearing in August. And then the probation violation hearing was set for yesterday at 9:30. The defendant didn't show up. Miss Ives drove over here from Coldwater for the hearing. And Daniel had tried to call her, but I think the last call she hung up on him. She's got a payment plan in multiple files. I just checked with the clerks. She made no payment. File 201577 is a retail fraud. (201869) is a allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. (21901199) is a no proof of insurance. And then she was on this probation because I wanted to try to make sure that something was paid. What happened to you yesterday?
I thought it was today. I mixed up the date with my mom. My mom did call and tell me.
Well, it would have, if it would have been today, it would have been 9:30. So you came rolling in at 1:30.
Yeah, I got here as soon as I could get a ride. My vehicle, I just got out of inbound. It's not legal, so I'm not driving it because I don't need no proof of insurance tickets. So I got here as soon as my mom could bring me here. I apologize for both inconvenience of yesterday and today.
Are you still living at the South Main address?
No, that's just a mailing address. The house I was staying at.
I don't want to put your address here on the record. Did you ever call your lawyer?
No, I didn't. I have no, Your Honor, actually, I have no excuse of why. My life has been falling apart and I didn't have the money to pay. I wasn't able to work for a little bit because I have my health issues, but I still should.
Hang on just a second. Your Honor, I apologize, but if I could inquire if we're doing a PV arraignment, is this
we had the PV arraignment. She pled not guilty and there was a PV hearing that was set for yesterday. And Rhonda Ives was here. And as I indicated, she drove over here from Coldwater for the hearing. And Brandy's paying none, not cooperating with her probation agent, doesn't show up at the wrong time, at the right date. She shows up on the wrong day at the wrong time. I wanted to do a drug test right now, but Autumn's not here. I'm just gonna have you taken into custody. We can wipe out these fines with some jail time, but you're paying none, not even $1, 5 cents, none. You called a couple times and said, hey, I'm gonna bring in some money, and then never did, and then didn't show up. And you've got about 40 entries in here from past things. So this was a terrible inconvenience for Miss Ives. I was here anyway, and I'm here now, but you came, you pled not guilty. I gave you another month. You didn't pay anything. You didn't call your lawyer. You hung up on your probation officer. And this has been quite a failure. You have a payment plan and I think 4 or 5 different cases. So you can go with the officer. I will set a hearing as soon as Miss Ives is available. Bond is canceled.
Is there a way you just as a community service sort this money out? Because like,
We can discuss that if you'd ever bothered to talk to your lawyer
I
about
didn't
it.
know, I thought. it was-
Some of them carry mandatory minimum fines.
Sure.
Set hearing ASAP with Rhonda Ives. Keith, you came in here at the last juncture. I'd had some discussion with her when I saw her on August 14th. She called, I probably, in the hindsight, I should have just put her in jail and she entered the plea in June. But it did a probation because she promised she was going to plead. So I did a non-reporting, no cost. The only condition that she pays something. She paid none on any of her 5 files. So when Rhonda is available, we'll probably end up wiping these fines out with a jail sentence. But then she shows up on the wrong day at the wrong time and says, I have no excuse for not being here. That's not a very compelling defense. So thank you. We'll get this set for hearing when Miss Ives is available.
Okay, if I could make just one inquiry, if you don't mind.
Yes.
My question was, did Mr. Frazing put it in as a technical or a non-technical violation? And if it was a technical violation and she wanted to make admissions today, could we dispense with it, or would the court not be?
It is technical, but I gave a bench warrant and she had 48 hours to appear, which was this morning. And so she's outside that window. So this is a contempt rather than a technical violation. But you raise a good point. The violation is she didn't pay anything, but she was placed on probation just for the purpose of paying something. But she's struggling. And here's Rhonda right now. She might be watching the feed, or I CC'd her on that. I can zoom in about 10 minutes. All right. I'll get Rhonda here.
Okay.
All right, so we'll readdress this.
If you need it again, Your Honor, just tell her.
All right. Thank you, David.
Judge, has there
Yes.
been a formal PV filed on this case?
There was, we had a PV arraignment and we had the PV hearing was set. It's a failure to pay case. And as Keith brought up earlier, that's a technical violation. But she has 4 cases and she hasn't paid on any of them. And she keeps saying she's going to. Probably what I should have done is just put her in jail right off the bat. But she wanted to do a payment plan. Ms. Brown, your lawyer was watching the live feed or got my email, and she emailed me and said I can log in just a minute. So I had the bailiffs hold on to you, and I had Daniel come back up here. And so rather than have a public defender here, we've got your lawyer here. So let me get out of the case I'm in. All right. This is in the matter of Brandy Marie Brown. She has several things going on. Her probation officer, Daniel Frazine, is here. The file that we're actually in is file 222311ST. Miss Brown was originally charged on a formal complaint in September of 2022 with having false evidence of insurance, which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail, operating without insurance. She had a fraudulent insurance card with a bunch of mistakes in it from a fictitious company named Arrowhead General Insurance Company. They photocopied it, discovered that no such insurance was in effect. I guess it was a real company, but they had canceled her insurance in 2017. So she didn't have any insurance and she had fraudulent insurance. She got arrested, and attorney Ives was appointed to represent her. We had a couple of pre-trials after the first of the year and some missed dates. I think we even had the matter set for jury trial. And on June 6th, the defendant entered a plea to no insurance. No insurance carries a minimum $200 fine, plus the minimum state fees of $125, plus the attorney fee. This matter had actually been set for jury trial. So I set the plea and accepted the plea and set the fine and cost at $475. I did a 2-month non-reporting probation to ensure that she would make some payments. She was on a payment plan in several other cases. She was to pay $50 per month starting June 15th. Those other cases include 201577, which is a retail fraud charge from the city of Sturgis. Every one of these is a break. That's a retail fraud misdemeanor that was reduced to a retail fraud civil infraction. File 201869 was a driving suspended, which was reduced to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. File 201869 was a driving suspended reduced to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. And then she has a no proof of insurance from July 7th of 2022. She had a history of not paying on any of these fines, some from 2020, some from 2022, and this conviction that was in 2023, which was also a reduction. They dismissed the fraud charge for a plea to no insurance. So I put her on a 2-month non-reporting probation to try to get her to pay on her fines and costs. Well, she paid none. So Daniel Frazine, who was assigned the unpleasant task of trying to supervise this non-reporting probation, filed a probation violation petition. She was here on June 6th, and we took care of a bunch of old cases. She was at Hope House. She was going to make some payment. So Daniel attempted on multiple occasions to try to get something. Finally, he asked me, well, she said she hasn't paid anything. Can we extend the probation? I extended it for 6 months. She made no payment in June, no payment in July, no payment in August, no payment in September. And Daniel says, I'm tired of doing this. Let's just give the 4 days in jail and revoke this probation. So he filed a probation violation petition. No, I misspoke to Keith. This was the probation violation arraignment, not the hearing. So you didn't show up for your arraignment. His last contact with you, you'd hung up on him. So I did a bench warrant, $2,000 cash only, see judge, no 48-hour hold. So that was on the 13th. Today is the 14th. She came in at about 1:30 today, said, well, I'm here. Rhonda wasn't here, obviously, and Daniel dropped what he was doing to come up here. So I left the bond as it was canceled. Rhonda, you're not actually in this case yet. I apologize. You were her attorney on the original case. So even more so, I appreciate your being here. So Ms. Brown indicated when Mr. Stickley was here that she got her days mixed up. Although I believe I handed her. No, we sent this to her by mail. Anyway, she's here. That's something, she's paid none. And I don't know what to do with her. There are 61 entries with your name on it in our district court roster. A lot of those you've paid off. These last ones, we took care of a bunch of stuff on the 6th. And you represented that you were going to start to make payments. And so I didn't do a jail sentence. So the allegation is that you've failed to pay on your fines and costs. You can have a probation violation hearing on that where we can take testimony. But I've sort of lost track. Daniel tried to talk to you, you hung up on him. I don't know where you're living, what you're doing, what your work prospects are. So you were at Hope House when I talked to you in June. Where are you living now?
I was at the domestic shelter. I was at the domestic shelter in June, not Hope House.
Okay.
But right now I'm in between houses. We are fixing the house that I'm staying at because the electric got shut off. It got condemned and we're fixing it now. So we can move back in.
Where's that house?
On Malley Landing in Sturgis.
Who owns that?
Scott Carr. I'm renting a room from him upstairs. Cause I didn't have nowhere to stay at the time, so I rented a room from him.
I had a case, an assault case. It's a nice house. There was. All right. So are you working anywhere?
Yes, I still have my job at Cottage Inn. The lights being shut off at the house there, made it harder for me to make any payments, but I should have made a payment. But I do still work at Cottage Inn.
Now you've got a suntan and sunglass marks. So you've been outside a lot. What do? Are you hanging out at Omina Lake?
Sometimes on the boat or just outside because like I said, can't stay at the house, so really don't just have nowhere to stay right at the moment until we can get back in the house.
Where'd you stay last night?
Last night I stayed in between two friends' house, actually.
All right. As Mr. Stickley, the public defender, pointed out, this is a technical violation for failing to pay. But this failure to pay goes back to 2020. Those other things were all unpaid. You blew them off. You got something in 22, you blew that off. You got this. We got you here. We took care of all your cases. Miss Ives helped work all that out with the city attorney, the county prosecutor, worked out everything, got this case reduced. And you gave me the big finger by not doing anything and then showing up on the wrong day. So, like I said, maybe what I should have done is just jail right then. I don't want you to lose your job, but I don't want you to keep insulting me.
I'm really not trying to, Your Honor, and I'm so sorry. Is there some, like, can I just community service to work off some of this money? It's not that I don't intend to pay you. It's, I don't honestly. I
Well,
don't
you
think
could come
about
in
it.
and
I
pay
can't.
$5. You could talk to your
You're right.
probation officer, not hang up on him.
I
You
lost
could
service.
show
I
up
didn't
on
hang
the right day that you're supposed to be here for. This is like, you don't have any respect for me and you don't care what I say. And so the answer is some of these I can't wipe out as community service. Well, some are civil infractions
Right.
where you got a misdemeanor, you were stealing, they reduced it to a civil infraction and it carries a fine. I can't erase a civil infraction fine with community service. Some of these are the minimum allowable state fines, $125, which I can't erase under state statute or
Your
under
Honor, we
community
know
service.
she's purported that she got a ride here, but there's no one in the courtroom here and she's been sitting for a while. I'm kind of curious if she drove here or not.
Is your mom here?
No, they dropped me off because I figured I was going to jail.
All right.
So if I wasn't going to jail, I was to call for a ride back.
Rhonda, I lost you for a minute.
Sir, I'm still here. I started to sneeze. So I'm trying
Okay.
to locate a Kleenex. So I'm still here though, listening.
All right, thank you. Well, it makes me want to sneeze too. So, so I don't know what to do.
Your Honor, can you give me a chance to make a payment of at least $200 by 5 o'clock today? And if not, I'll go to jail.
Yeah.
I can do that. I had been talking with a friend and told him I was $200 behind in my payments. And then because he asked me what I owed up to, and I know from there to now is $200.
All right. And I'm not gonna go bankrupt because you don't pay your $200. But the point is you keep getting charged with something. The prosecutor cuts you a break. I cut you a break and then you don't do it. You don't pay anything. And you keep telling me you're going to pay. So, all right. Yeah, I'll release you and I want you to pay $500 or $200 today.
Okay.
And then your next payment will be due October 15th.
Thank you. And I apologize. I do intend to pay you because I have so much going on in my life. I do forget about the courts. It's like the last thing. It should not be the last thing.
Or 2,800 days in jail.
Okay.
I can't do that, but if you don't pay
My heart
today,
just dropped. I was like, okay,
I'm gonna issue a bench warrant for your arrest.
I haven't paid today.
Rhonda's now in her mobile headquarters. All right. Contact your friend. I want you to pay $200 by 5 o'clock today. Then you're on schedule with your payment plan. The ladies will tell me how much you're owed. And your next payment will be due October 15th. I think was the date. Now, you could thank your lawyer, Miss Ives, for logging in here on very short notice.
Thank you so much.
Otherwise, you'd have been sitting here until we could get her in here. But you didn't show up and she did. And so go ahead. Do you need a bus pass? Or somebody gonna come pick you up and bring the $200?
Oh, I'm gonna call them and just come pick me up so we can get paid.
All right, very good. All
Am
right.
I still on probation? Am I not on probation?
Yes, you're still on probation, which means I can alter the sentence and order up to 90 days in jail.
Okay.
So up to a year in jail, actually, on a no insurance. So Rhonda and both Melissa went above and beyond here today to help their clients. So you
Thank
go
you,
make a
Rhonda.
phone call and make the payment and let's get this done so I can get off your back. All right, you're good to go. Thank you, Rhonda, again for your help.